Hi guys, my name is Jobius. Today we want to discuss about creating a budget. It's called essentials, or what you need to consider when you want to create a budget. It's very important. The other sessions we discussed about debts, and one of the great ways of getting out of debts or avoiding debts or financial planning is having a budget. So ladies and gentlemen, today allow us to discuss how you can create a budget. And I hope you have a pen and a paper, which will help you create a budget. So what are things that you need to look for or you need to consider when creating a budget? One, know your income. How much do you receive in a year? How much do you receive in a particular period? There's the projected, there's the actual. So let's discuss what you think you will receive. Let's say, for example, I'm being paid 10,000, or my business gets 10,000. In the next 1 year, I'll receive 120,000. That is for 12 months. So what do I need to do? Do a budget considering of what you receive, or of the anticipated income. If you're getting 20,000 every month, you can't do a budget for 50,000. That is nonsense. Not unless you are projecting to get another 30,000 from donations. No, you can't do donations at 30,000 if you've not been getting that money. Look at how much have you been receiving. Is it 20,000? Do a budget for 20,000. Is it 50? Do a budget of 50,000. So do a projected budget of 50. If it's a month times 10 months, that's 500. Or if it's 12 months, that's 600,000. That's how you need to do it. So after that, the next thing is you need to understand your expenses. What are your expenses? What are your expenses? Understand them. Take a toothpick, clearly define, elaborate them, classify them. I keep on telling my clients and some of my friends that when it comes to needs or expenses, make sure they are only needs. Focus with needs. You can decide to look at the last 1 month or the last 3 months. How much did you use? Where did you spend? On what? Was it a need? Was it a want? So that's number one. So once you've understood them, then you classify them according to needs and wants. Then do away with the wants. Just remain with the needs. You don't need to focus on wants. We all know what wants and what needs are. Needs are what you can't do without. Wants are things you can do without. Do you understand? After that, the third bit is we need to go to what we call, you need to set short-term goals. As you do your budget, set short-term goals. Some of the short-term goals that you need to look at or you need to consider include one, you can decide to save. One of the goals can be one, you can decide to save for welding. You can say you want to save for some vacation, you want to go to the coast, you want to go and enjoy life. Life is hard. Again, life is short, you only live once. It depends. You can be having some small debts that you need to repay. So you can have them as short-term goals. You can be saving towards doing some courses. You might decide to do a short course that's maybe 100,000. Short-term goals definitely means these are goals that you want to achieve in the short period. The short period can either be 3 years. For somebody else, a short period can either be 3 months. So it depends. This is relative according to how people decide to define them, because you're the potter. You're the one who decides how you want it to be. After setting short-term goals, we go to setting long-term goals. Long-term goals are also relative. It can be 10 years, can be 5 years. It can also depend on how much is your disposable income. Some of the long-term goals can include one, buying a house. Another long-term goal can even be putting deposit for a house. Another long-term goal can be paying off a large sum of debt. Another long-term goal can be going to a vacation in the United States or going to Paris for some shopping. So it depends with what you want. It's your life, you are the potter, you're the boss. You decide how you want it to be. Then after that, we got something called deciding on your budget approach. How do you want your approach to be? How do you want the budget approach to be? It can be zero budgeting. Zero budgeting is what I said. I have talked about it previously. Zero budgeting is where you justify why particular items are in a budget list. It's good because it gives accuracy, it gives efficiency. It also brings what we call optimum use of the resources, because you have to justify the reason as to why you are meeting a few needs, or you're meeting the costs, or you're paying for anything. You can also have what you call incremental, but incremental. This is where your budget increases at a particular rate. We can say the first budget will increase at 10%. So at every 10%, so when you're doing a budget for every quarter, it increases, for every year it increases at 10%. Your budget can be that way. That can be your approach. It is you to decide. You can feel after every year I need to get that. But again, as you do this for incremental budgeting, you need to understand that how is your income? Is your income also increasing, or your income is static? So it will be very funny and insanity when you want to have an incremental budget and your income is static or it is going down. Let's say for example you're being paid 100,000 2 years ago. In the next 2 years you want to get 100,000. You know what you'll get? You'll get 2.7%, 2.75% off for the social health insurance fund. You'll also get, is it 1.5%? There are percentages for the housing levy. There are things keep on changing with every government. Something else we'll talk about is what we call the rolling budget. The rolling continuous budgeting, or the rolling budgeting, actually means that what you do is, once you feel like, okay, you've done a budget for a particular year, then after 3 months you're realizing this budget is not meeting the needs or it's not meeting its goals, so you do another one very fast. So there's never a room for vacuum. That is actually very good, because this budgeting technique helps you, or approach helps you realize efficiency. You understand? So it is important to have what you call a rolling or continuous budget. So this is where you add another budget when the other budget expires. A budget plan when the budget expires. Very important. Because if, let's say for example, you are working, you do a budget for 500,000, then you stopped working, you got another job, you're paid 200,000. Very fast, you've done it. The risks have been mitigated. You're not in debt anymore. Why? Because you have done something else you need to work at. Wisdom is scarce. Next, we have something called activity-based budgeting. Activity-based budgeting. This is where you decide which activities am I having this year. What activity do I have this year? Let me give you an example. Let's say for example you'll be having a family reunion. You're planning to do a graduation party, or you are planning to do something, any activity. So once you have the activity, then you budget towards the activity. You start with the activity. Once you know what the activity will be, so you start budgeting towards it. You can say, I'll save 10,000 towards it. I'll save 5,000 every month towards it. I'll save 200 towards it. So that's how you do it. From up, you've seen it, now we hit it. That's how we do it. Activity-based budgeting. It's very important. So that when that time, let's say for example your wife is going to give birth. It's in 9 months. You can do it from now. That's an activity. Giving birth is an activity. So what do? You start saving towards that. Wisdom. So that when that time comes, you don't start calling people left, right, and center, telling them, oh, now my wife has given birth, and now the HIF. This is just too much nonsense. Wisdom. Last but not least, we'll talk about what we call performance-based budgeting. Performance-based budgeting is, first of all, you define your goals. You define your objectives. You define what you want to achieve at the end of it all. So what do you want to achieve? What do you want to achieve? So you have to understand what you want to achieve, like the results. So what are the results that we so desire at the end of all this? So once you know what your results are, I want to be a good driver. I want to know driving. So you save towards driving. I want to be the best driver. I want to understand French. You save towards that. So is French part of your goals, or part of your dreams, or part of your objectives? So you save towards it. So once you know your budget approach, you create it, and then you track the plan, and then you run with it. You don't get out of it. And after every period, and then you give yourself some periodic time. This is where you look at your budget and you realize, or you try and see whether you achieved what you wanted or you didn't achieve. But against all that, as you create your budget, make sure you've put your place for expenses, which are needs. You have put in place your place for savings, and you're saving depending on what you want to achieve, or saving depending on the cost. You've also put a place or a point where you need to invest. So you save towards some investment. Make sure you're investing. So you are investing, you're having a savings, you're having emergency fund, and then last but not least, you're also having fun for yourself. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. Today we're talking about creating a budget, and I hope after all this you will be with your pen and paper creating your budget. If you're having a problem with how you want to create your budget or how things will run, don't forget to call me, text me, or WhatsApp me. Thank you. God bless you so much.